Alrighty, well, what's going on, guys? My name is Mike, and welcome back to some more Genshin Impact. I know it has been over a week at this point. I believe it's been over a week since I last uploaded a video, and frankly, it's just because I kind of let a lot of things related to IRL stuff kind of get away from me in terms of what I should prioritize and what could theoretically get put on top of me and whatnot, and I just have not been in a good enough mental state to be able to sit down and record a video for you guys, especially talking about a lot of the 4.1 stuff that we saw last Friday, but holy moly, dude. Can I just, like, take a second to, like, talk about a lot of that stuff that we ended up seeing? Like, oh my gosh. Like, in all honesty, seeing a lot of what the trailer had to offer, it kind of has me wanting to pull for Neuvillette. Not, like, that's not something that kind of, like, easily happens to me. I don't normally go for a lot of the male characters here in Genshin all that often, or really ever, honestly. If they're 4 stars, sure, I'll go ahead and go for them, just because I can easily get my hands on them. But when it comes to 5 stars, and messing around with the 5-star pity around other characters that I may want, I rarely, if ever, go for the males. But I don't know, man. Like, looking at Neuvillette's kit, I kind of like how he seems to be playing. And I agree with a lot of people that he just does seem to be like a 5-star Lumine, in a sense. Like, he's got a skill, and I think his burst as well, trigger the dewdrops, or rather the source water droplets, to heal up after using what I think is going to end up being his charged attack. And I don't know, dude, like, just looking at, like, what we at least saw there in the special program for 4.1, I'm actually, like, very interested to, at the very least, give him a shot. I'm pretty sure the next 10 pull that I do is going to end up throwing me a 5-star, 50-50, because I think I'm at 65 pity on that. So it's entirely possible that if I just throw one 10 wish at him, he'll probably come home 50-50 shot, maybe slightly less technically with it not being guaranteed or whatever, but it's certainly a possibility, and I'm genuinely considering it. I really am. He just looked really cool. Obviously, I have a bit more of a preference to him over Wriothesley because we've gone through 2 acts of the Archon quest with him, and you know, I have a feeling that maybe most people who are, like, torn right at this moment are probably going to end up waiting, possibly, to play through Acts 3 and 4 and see which of the 2 they like more after it.
Ad Astra Abyssosk.
Because I can't lie, dude, like, seeing both Wriothesley and Neuvillette, it's kind of a hard toss-up. Like, Wriothesley just being a bit more of a brawler type of character, just in terms of, like, his attack aesthetics, is really cool. Which, by the way, speaking of Wriothesley, first cryo catalyst in the game, by the way. We are starting the 4th year of content for Genshin, and this is the first cryo catalyst that we are getting. Now the longest running like weapon type plus element that we don't have is a Hydro Claymore, which, honest to God, I really hope that Farina has a Claymore just for the hell of it. It'd be so funny. But I don't know what weapon she could be using. It's really a toss-up, honestly. Which, that's another thing that's kind of, like, holding me back in terms of wishing for Neuvillette, because I want to, like, try and make sure that I can have close to 100% guarantee for Farina whenever she shows up. And, you know, potentially winning the 50-50 to Neuvillette, while it is going to be dope to have him, I don't know, dude, like, it's just something that I, like, really have to kind of think about right now, because I genuinely don't know who I'm going to want more. And I'm praying, like, at this point right now, when I'm recording this, the drip marketing for 4.2 has not come out yet. And I'm praying that both Farina and Charlotte are next, and even more so, praying that they are on the same banner. I really want them to be on the same banner. I cannot, please, I'm begging you, please. Shifting away from the characters alone for a second, talking about, like, the potential lore implications and the fact that we're actually gonna, like, start seeing Arlecchino show up. I seriously thought that she was gonna show up, like, in Act 2 or something. There was an entire possibility, but it didn't end up happening, which is completely fine. The fact that she's here now, though, a lot of neat little things could end up happening, and the fact that presumably Act 3 is going to start with Neuvillette, Farina, and Arlecchino just chilling in Hotel de Boer with a casual conversation talking about what the hell is going on with Child. There's so much that could happen with her, and I love the fact that they're painting Arlecchino, as of right now anyway, to be morally gray. It's not really so much Fatui bad anymore, just not that black and white. Nothing in life ever is that way, but it's just nice to kind of be able to get that sort of thing now, where it's like, you know what, even though Arlecchino is a harbinger, and even though we know that Linny and Lynette are Fatui, and we can't 100% trust them, the fact that they mentioned that Arlecchino does want to use the Gnosis to first save Fontaine and then take it back for the Tsaritsa is enough to at least probably maybe hear her out, ? I'm not sure. I just like a good mommy character, as is probably evident. Also, the fact that seemingly, possibly, Neuvillette is starting to draw some doubts in the Fontainian people, considering that, well, I don't know if it's it's not fully confirmed right now whether Neuvillette is a Melazine or the Hydro Dragon. Well, I think honestly, they're one and the same. Melazine and Dragon. Yeah, hold on. Quick little spoiler talk for those of you who likely maybe have not completed the Melazine World Quest over on Elenis, but... Oh, wow, okay. But yeah, that Melazine World Quest, at the very end, we ended up getting confirmation that Elenis was the previous Hydro Dragon, and that his death gave birth to the Melazines in Fontaine. So, realistically, Melazines and the Hydro Dragon are one and the same, whether Neuvillette is the reincarnation of the Hydro Dragon or technically is a Melazine himself. More on a technicality, but they are one and the same. Wow, I'm having a brain blast. Holy moly. Point out of all of that is that Neuvillette seems to is starting to be a bit of a scapegoat, someone a lot more doubted in the eyes of some Fontainians, considering that they're not seeming to taking a liking to Melazines, and they looped Neuvillette into that group, which, oh my gosh, it's messing with my lore brain, dude. I'm not super deep into the lore like a lot of other people, a lot of crack theorists out there when it comes to Genshin. I mostly just kind of take everything at face value of what is shown to me through Archon quests and occasionally through some of the world quests, if they're a lot more interesting than they end up seeming to be for me at first. But holy moly, the fact that I just took a second to rethink. Neuvillette, regardless of what you call them, a Melazine or a Hydro Dragon, it basically is just one and the same at this point. And can we also talk about the fact that, Farina likely is being stared down the blade, maybe, possibly, of Arlecchino, where, well, I don't want to say Arlecchino because, the way that the start of the Archon quest was described, they're really, having a bit more of a diplomatic sort of interaction, just talking about Child. But yeah, when she's when she's in the background vocals of what's happening on screen, and she's begging not to be killed, what is that entailing? There's so much good theory fodder, and if not, just nice little thought-provoking sort of moments in that trailer, to where it gets even someone that is, I would say, probably a bit more of an invested casual in the overall lore of Genshin to just sit and think, what is actually going on? It's crazy. I absolutely adore it so much. There's so much going on that could that could end up being shown to us when 4.1 drops and we get those 2 new chapters. I'm so freaking excited. I have a good feeling that Farina may end up being drip marketed for 4.2 because we're getting the climax of the story, and I feel like it would be well, I don't know what exactly Hoyoverse is really doing with Charlotte at the moment, but I just kind of feel like maybe they would probably want to get her released already, since we got her back in 3.8. Was it 3.8 or 3.7? I forget. Point is, she's been in the game for a while, and I said, like, the moment that I first saw her, that I was going to get her. And maybe I'll spoil myself a little, possibly similar to what I did with Lynette, where I just kind of threw some wishes at the gacha, and I got her to C4, which C4 is a game changer, by the way, for the double skill charge. So useful. I really wish I could have got C6 for the infusion, but that's something for another time. But as much as we love Genshin for the game that it is and what kind of community it continues to foster with either single individual content creators or just the community as a whole, it's another sort of shame that it seems like we're just going to get another free 10 wish for the anniversary again. And, you know, maybe possibly giving players, especially those that maybe don't play as often, a guaranteed 5-star of their choice, which is what a lot of people kind of seem should be the standard for anniversary stuff. I feel like the logical reason for why Hoyoverse doesn't do that is because a lot of people likely just keep on playing. They have that little sort of tug to keep playing because they don't have the specific character that they want yet. It's such a shame, dude, because I feel like those super casuals that just barely play, you know, they don't really understand like how deep this game really goes in terms of the lore and the world building and the character relationships between everybody. There's more to it than just playing to get the primos to pull for your favorite character and then never play again, you know? But I'm not going to complain for a free 10 wish. A free 10 wish is a free 10 wish added to the pity, or a potentially free 5-star showing up earlier than it should, which I'm all for, dude. I could definitely save every primo that I can get my hands on, because that's another part of like the whole tug of war right now in my mind. Like, do I want to like try the 50-50 for Neuvillette, potentially get set back to 0 for Farina if I do get him? Or do I just want to like guarantee myself Farina 100%? Because we're getting the free 10 wishes. We're getting another region expansion for Fontaine, which is going to have a ton of exploratory primos, new events, just a bunch of new opportunities for primos. And it's like, am I going to be like okay potentially getting Farina for free? And you know what? Sitting here kind of thinking about it and actually talking about it, I think it is somewhat safe to say that I likely do have a bit of a nice sort of bedrock underneath me right now to still have Farina somewhat guaranteed for me, possibly, because I'm sitting on 10 and I have another 20 in reserve on the Primogem, so that's 30. I'm 65 pity in, so that's about 30-ish pity into another 50-50 potentially. And then I have another whole patch and a half, you know, when Farina's banner actually goes away, if she's first, to save up more primos. It's entirely a possibility. And, you know, I think I may end up pulling, like, at least trying the 50-50 for Neuvillette. I'm not going to go for the guarantee. I can't. I want Farina more. Like, Neuvillette looks cool, and I would want him, but I'm not going to compromise getting Farina above all else. And, you know, dropping a 10 wish or 2 to potentially get him is something that I am willing to do right now. So, you know what? I possibly will do that. But holy moly, dude, that trailer, like, just in terms of the lore, but, like, what is going to be happening in terms of the story, tons of big stuff could end up happening here, and I could not be more excited. Neuvillette's story quest, Risley's story quest, the actual Archon quests, and the other world quests that might get added in to further sort of flesh out a lot of the stuff in relation to the Fontaine Research Institute. Because, dude, the fact that, again, like, just the Melazine quest was so... it was so good. Like, with Jacob, and Jacob has been foreshadowed for so long, back in Sumeru, right? But, like, wow, dude, there's so much going on, and I could not be more happy for this game. I love it so much. I think I say it every video that I really do adore this game a lot. It's not just pretty characters doing cute attacks or neat attacks that just look cool that I spend money on. No, to me, Genshin is so much more than that. And I love it a ton. I cannot be more excited for what 4.1 has in store for us to further push us toward the ending of what Genshin has for us. It's truly a special light of my life right now that I could not be more happy to be a part of. Whether it's just indulging in a lot of the story stuff with the communities around me in terms of like other content creators and things like that, or just talking with some of you guys here on my own channel right here. I know that I've been like very sporadic in terms of YouTube uploads, and right now it is just extremely hard for me to kind of have something very simple nailed down in terms of getting any sort of update schedule, you know, set in stone. I've been wanting to do every 4 days. I can't hold myself to every 4 usually. It sucks, and I want to be better at it. I promise I do. I really do, but it's just really hard for me right now. But it's not gonna stop me from making the videos that I want to, talking about this game and sharing my experiences with you guys, because I do love it to death. And oh my goodness, so many good things just happening in the gaming world right now. It makes me smile because I really do enjoy playing games so much. But I think with a lot of that out of the way, we'll go ahead and leave things here for today. So, if you guys did enjoy a lot of the 4.1 talk, I know it was very sporadic and chaotic, but you know, at this point, I think a lot of people have already said what's needed to be said about it, and I just wanted to at least express what I'm thinking, like on some of the big ticket stuff. Be sure to drop a like, because I'm super excited. I don't know what, if and when I'm going to be able to share anything in regards to 4.1 in terms of specifics, like when the actual patch comes out. Maybe I'll just talk a little bit more about the characters and what the story, like just in general, as kind of a synopsis, and what my thoughts are about it, kind of end up leading to. But we'll see how that goes in the future. It's a little nerve-wracking whenever we get a new patch, but I'm excited, and I'm very happy to be able to share some of my experience with you guys. But yeah, I'll be seeing you guys whenever I can upload my next video. Be sure to keep an eye out on my community tab for any sort of last-minute announcements that I make in regards to uploads, or if something comes up or if something changes. I will usually post something there first, or if not, you guys can go follow me over on Twitter. It's a lot more personal for me over there. If you guys just want to see like what I'm up to, you know, throughout some of the random hours of the day. But occasionally I will end up talking about like what I'm doing in terms of Genshin, like when big sort of action ticket items are happening in regards to, especially the early versions of a patch. But wow, dude, I could not be more excited. It's so good. But again, with that all being said, thank you guys so very much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Peace out, everybody.